Okay, it's 1:30. We're here for a regular Hunt County Commissioners Court meeting, May 26th at 2020. This meeting will be conducted by telephone or video conference in order to advance the public health goal of social distancing to slow the spread of coronavirus COVID-19 due to the COVID-19 crisis. The governor's order regarding social distancing and special rules issued by the state regarding open meetings. There will be no public access to the location described above. This meeting is being can be viewed online, and you can go to huntcounty.net webpage, and there'll be a link there that you can click on and get to the streaming of this meeting. You can also, there's a place where you can email to us and leave a comment, or if you want us to talk to you, you can leave a phone number and we'll call you back at the appropriate time, and you'll be able to address the court via telephone. With that, I'm going to call the meeting to order, and I'm going to ask Commissioner Martin to lead us in a prayer, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Shall we bow, please? Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for the gift of life. As we carry on the duties of this government, we ask you for wisdom and patience, understanding with each other. We ask you to help this great nation get over this evil that we're involved with. In Christ's name, we ask all these things. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, in liberty, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Thank you. Good. We have Commissioner Evans, Strait, and Martin present. Commissioner Harrison is absent today. I'm Judge Stovall, and I'll be presiding over the meeting. Commissioners, you have the minutes from the May 12th meeting in front of you. I'd entertain a motion for approval of the minutes.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. This time we normally have public testimony, but I'm going to give everyone time to email in their questions and or comments and our phone numbers, and we'll do that later in the meeting. So we'll move on to action items. And first thing I'm going to skip down in the agenda. Need to approval of the accounts payable.
Make a motion, we pay the bills.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of line item transfers.
Make a motion to approve the line item budget transfers.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Approval of budget amendments.
Make a motion to approve the budget amendments.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we'll leave the rest of it. That gets you taken care of? Okay. All right. At this time, I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session under number 1.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. We're in executive session at 1:34. Okay, it's 1:57. We're back in regular session. Action item number 1, a resolution extending and or modifying the April 28, 2020 COVID-19 related resolution and social distancing guidelines to prevent the spread of COVID-19.
Okay, this is the almost exactly the same resolution as last time. The only difference is that the dates have been changed to go through the day of the next meeting, which is June 9th. And there's new references to the most recent executive orders from the governor. Otherwise, this doesn't close anything down. It does require that people who are employees of the county not come to work if they're sick. But there's nothing in here that closes businesses. At this point, all close down orders that would be applicable in Hunt County come directly from the governor.
Anybody got any questions? Not, I entertain a motion for approval of action item number 1.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 2, proclamation for Police Officer Memorial Day. I entertain a motion for approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. At this time, I might tell the public again, on our website, you have the ability to email a question and or a phone number, and a little bit later, I'll give you a few more minutes to send your information to us, and we'll be happy to either call you or read out your question and or comment, and we'll deal with it in an appropriate manner. Action item number 3, resolution of approving contract for assessment and collection services between the Hunt County Tax Assessor Collector and the Caddo Mills Municipal Management District Number 1 pursuant to Section 6.24 of the Texas Property Code and Section 791.01 the Texas Government Code.
This is just a run-of-the-mill contract that our tax assessor collector has with each entity for whom he collects taxes. We looked through this, and there's nothing different from the ones that have been approved by this body over the past 6 or 7 years, except for a couple of dates that got moved up a week to make it easier for them to deal with the tax rate setting at the end of the year.
Okay. Any questions? Entertain a motion for approval of action item number 3.
So moved. Second.
Got a motion second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 4, resolution granting money for reimbursement to volunteer fire departments of approved costs with funding from the Federal CARES Act. We're going to table this at this time and take it up at the next meeting if possible. Action item number 5, resolution approving county judge's signature and filing of application for federal funds administration through the state under CARES Act.
This is the item that I talked to you about last time. If the court approves this and then the county judge signs the relevant documentation, the county will get several $100,000 up front. All the money that's spent from that has to be accounted for to the state or potentially to the federal government, and has to be used on a list of very specific things. We don't know exactly what all those things are going to include because the relevant regulations haven't really been written yet. We do know that there's about 5 pages of general rules, and the money can be expended through the end of the day on December 29th of this year. And so generally, looking at the general rules that they put out, all of the county's expenditures related to COVID so far should be in the reimbursable portion of this act. Basically, the county will get 20% of its total allotment right up front. And then can go back and seek another up to $2.1 million at a later time. And so really what we're doing here is putting something on the record that we'll have in the filed minutes that shows that the county judge had authority to go ask for that money. But it's not a long application process, it's just a signature. And
Good, I can do that.
yeah, it's real easy. And so basically, there's definitely no reason to not do this. There are some complications, but we've already discussed those with Bruce, and then every county government is looking at those same complications. And so over the next 6 months or 7 months, I think things will come together and be a lot easier for us to determine how to account for all of that money.
Any questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of action item number 5.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 6, resolution approving county judge's signature and filing of application for federal funds administered through the state under CARES Act for voting and elections.
This is a similar tranche of money. It's much, much smaller. It's less than $100,000 altogether. It does pay for various things related to voting and elections. I met last week with Bobby and Eric and went over some of what that money can be spent on. And I think Eric's going to be meeting with Jose Martinez to go over some of that. Basically, this is the same thing, though. The county judge has received a DocuSign document, and he needs to get approval from this court to sign and return that. This one is a little bit different because it has a 20% matching fund, I believe, or maybe it's 25%.
I think it was 20.
Um,
Could be. It's one or the other.
Yeah, but it's a relatively small amount. There's definitely things that can be spent on. It's not enough money to do some of the bigger things that we talked about, capital improvement type things like new voting machines. But $100,000 will go, a good fair way, especially because this November election is going to be interesting. I mean, there's a lot of things on the ballot, and obviously it's a presidential election. And so some of the things that this money can be spent for will definitely help with the administration of that election.
It is 20%. I have the email here. It says matching funds, 20% using county funds. Anybody got any questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion for approval of action item number 6.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 7, resolution approving plat cancellation and dedication of right-of-way along County Road 2720. Didn't we already abandon the subdivision before, subject to getting this road worked out? Or?
No, we put it on the agenda, and we published everything in the newspaper, put it on the agenda, but then it wasn't clear leading up to that meeting exactly
Okay.
what the paperwork was going to be. And so that's the reason why in the paperwork that's in your packet has all the different whereases going through all of that, so that somebody in the future who's looking at this will be able to see exactly what happened. But basically, this is a small piece of property that's part of a big, giant development by D.R. Horton that's in a triangle between Josephine, Caddo Mills, and Royce City. This particular property was broken up and platted and had some dedicated county right-of-way on a county road, 2720. It also had a cul-de-sac that went up in the middle to divide all those properties up. So basically, what you would be doing here is approving the plat cancellation that gets rid of all the plat, but also approving their dedication of the right-of-way because our approval of cancellation of the plat is contingent on their dedication of the right-of-way.
Of our current county road right-of-way.
That's right, of the 30 feet that's on the county road, not of the cul-de-sac. And the only thing that they retain from that is the right of ingress and egress, which they had anyway. And so basically, if you approve this, it needs to be couched in terms of I move that we approve to cancel the plat upon receipt of the right-of-way dedication.
Any questions? Not, I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the plat cancellation upon the receipt of the dedication of the right-of-way of County Road 2720.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion second. That motion okay?
Yes.
Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 8, resolution granting consent for drainage easement to be signed by lessee pursuant to requirements of county lease filed in the real records of Hunt County's document number 2095856 on May 14th, 2009.
All right, this relates to the 99-year lease on the golf course from 11 years ago. There's 88 years left on that. The Oaks is the current holder of that lease. Developer Cliff Jones is building the property just to the west of there and putting together some apartment complexes, or one apartment complex, but in multiple phases. And they need a drainage easement that will cross the boundary between those two properties up close to 1570 and drain into the long north-south ditch that then goes further down, drains further down the line. Basically, the golf course wants to do this because they want to capture that water in their giant man-made tank down on the southern end of the land, and then use that for irrigation purposes of the golf course. Mr. Jones needs it because his development is going to have a lot of impervious cover, which is going to put a lot of water off of the property, and it's not financially feasible to do it pretty much any other way than this. And so what you've got in front of you is a couple of page long, it's a 3-page long easement agreement. Our 99-year lease says that since the county owns that property, the county commissioners court has to approve the easement. And on the very last page of that, it's like a fifth or so page in the document, there's just a little place, one page where the county would sign if you approve it. It basically says that you consent to the easement. I drafted the easement. I didn't do it for Hunt County. In full disclosure, I'm representing the Oaks on this because I represent them for a lot of other things. And so I'm not, that also means I'm not charging the county for this. But basically what I did was went through the proposed lease agreement, easement agreement that came from Cliff's attorney. And then I read it side by side with the 99-year lease and changed pretty much everything in it because the 99-year lease gives the county some direct authority to ensure that the person who's leasing the property maintains the entire property, including things like this. And the original easement agreement said the opposite, that the developer was going to be in charge of that and then could charge the landowner, which would be the county, if the person leasing the property didn't maintain it. So basically that all got switched over. I apologize for not getting this to you earlier, but I only got approval on this this morning. And I only got the plans that go along with it about 20 minutes or so before court started. But basically, we looked at this a couple of weeks ago, and it was mostly set up and ready, but looking at the plans that were presented at that time, they included a detention pond. And the whole goal of this is to get rid of the detention pond by basically just cutting a swale from the property to the west to move the water over to the east in that ditch. And I talked with the cities, that's in the city limits. The golf course is outside the city limits, so the place where this water is crossing is the literal boundary between the city and the county. And so I talked with Brett Jamison at the city, and he said that that would require new engineering plans, and that is what's attached here is the new engineering plans. And so he got those, I think, either Thursday or Friday, and told me this morning that they had approved it. So basically what he had to go through and approve was all the little numbers that are on these pieces of property show the amount of water flow that's currently there coming off the property, and then what's going to be there when they build all of the impervious cover, the buildings and the parking lot and all of that. And so there's a mathematical formula that they have to go through and in order to comply with state law, and the city at this point has approved these plans. And so if the commissioners consent, then this lease would last until they build the second phase. And then it all basically has to be done over again, because that second phase will add a lot more water. It won't come under this lease. And so, but now that we've done it once, it should be a lot easier the second time around. Yes, sir.
Okay. I have no problem in reference them asking us, but, just what if number 2 phase, in other words, the engineer is doing a topo on that to give us, that will not eliminate that pool right now, will it? Or did you say that would?
That won't eliminate.
Well, the detention pond,
It will.
not the golf courses,
Well, it'll do away with
they have
this.
to do a detention pond, which is like what's in front of Walmart out there.
Yeah.
Those are detention ponds. And they had designed a detention pond, and there's 2 things they're trying to do. Up at the front, the Oaks has a driveway entrance has no culvert underneath it. It's just kind of a low water crossing.
Yes.
And so when a part of that water in the front of the apartments will go out to the front, and it will drain across that driveway, but it's going to be in such a way it's going to turn, and instead of all of it going across that driveway, part of it's going to turn and go down along the Oaks west property line and this property's east property line. And so that's one issue. The other issue with the detention pond, all this water was coming on the Oaks anyway. So they really wouldn't have needed anything if they'd have done the detention pond and just let it trickle out on it and go on across as it was, but they're concentrating it now. Is really what they're doing. They're still detaining it in that ditch because they're building a rock structure, a filtering structure at the end of it, which will back water up in that ditch. And then it'll seep through that. And then there's another wall after that. And then it'll go over it. And then it'll go on to the Oaks property. So it's still slowing it down where it's going out at the same rate. It's just concentrating it now into one spot. And that's why they need the easement. So if they get some erosion or whatever, they can maintain it and make sure it goes. And at that point, I didn't have a scale, but it's a couple 100 foot at the most, probably 100 feet from the actual creek itself. And
Then-
Oaks is not using it for anything except a driving range, so it's not hurting anything.
Will phase 2 be to the south of that?
I don't know if it's south or west. I think they've
I think
got
it's
it.
west.
Yeah, they've got it. It goes both. He can go further west and he can come further south both. I
Okay,
think.
but then they'll address
They may have to redo this when it gets to, if they ever do that phase, they may have to redo this.
Yeah.
that,
But this solves their problem for this phase.
enough.
I don't see any. I looked at it. I looked at plans this morning. I'm not an engineer, of course, but I've looked at a lot of those, and I don't see a problem with it. And the city engineering department's approved it. So
Yeah.
if anybody's got any questions, if not, I'll entertain a motion for approval. Action item number 8.
So move.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 9. Resolution approving a letter of intent to purchase T-Mobile lease.
All right, this is the Tower Point offer. You have in front of you a letter of intent. Letter of intent basically is the first step in an effort for Tower Point to buy the ability to use the whole rooftop over there. There's a lot of unanswered questions here, but the financial portions of it seem like they're workable. They're talking about $100,000 option fee up front.
I think it's $100, wouldn't it?
Oh, I'm sorry, it is $100. I misread that. $100 option fee, and then the $300,000 for the actual payment, plus a 60% share of new rentals that they put up there. However, you can't look at just the financials. There's a lot of legal parts of this, not least of which is that the county bought that building from the city, and it's not clear whether the assignment of this lease or the lease was transferred through an assignment. But if you are interested in looking into this further, then I would finalize gathering some paperwork from the city, and then probably also get some from the county. I don't have any. I thought that I had some of that in my old documents, but I think all of that's over at the city. So I should get that this week. But I just need to know if y'all are interested in even looking at that further.
Commissioners, what's your thoughts? You want to pursue it or not pursue it?
Tell you what, I think we need to know more about it.
Mhm.
I think we need to find out if it would be a good, thing to do, but we need to know more about it before we can make that decision. So I'm for, basically finding out more about it, whether we can even legally do it.
Yeah.
Is it going to be
That's-
expensive to figure that out?
No, it should take probably 4 or 5 hours, probably of total review and work.
Okay.
But it would be, I mean, you're looking at probably $1,000 or less.
That's fine with me.
Yeah,
Okay. Proceed. You need us to take an action to proceed on, or?
No,
Yeah.
I'll just, you can move this to old business, and then potentially 2 weeks from now, I'll have the right answers. But I don't know where those answers are going to lead. If 2 weeks from now, where there's even going to be an opportunity to vote on it.
All right, so we'll table action item number 9. Action item number 10, the 2020 TCDRS plan assessment. That's our retirement plan. Because of the economy, they were asking us if we wanted to declare an elected rate or stay with our required rate. Our plan is in really good financial shape. Our fund ratio is 90.1. They've told us 80% is a good ratio, and so we're way above that. I'd entertain a motion if we, on whether we want to go elected rate or the required rate of 10.75 or elect a different rate.
Can we stay with our current rate?
Discussion,
The 10.86? We can. I mean, we can do whatever we want. That would be an elected rate if that's what we want to do.
that's gonna increase it.
About 20,000 a year in premiums. I'd entertain a motion.
Discussion,
Okay.
leaving it as is versus, adding,
I'll take a motion either way. Whatever you want to do, whatever the pleasure is.
We're at 10.86 right now, Philip. And so
Pardon?
we're at 10.86, which is an elected rate. That's what we did last
It
year.
was required, 10.86 is required rate right now. Next year it'd be an elected rate because the required rate, my mouth won't work.
1.75.
Yeah, 10.75. So either one's fine, whatever we want to do, whatever the pleasure of the court.
I'm fine with one of the required rate.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion. We go with the required rate.
Okay.
I'll second.
Got a motion,
second,
got a motion second for the required, well, that's hard for me to say today, 10.75. Any discussion? Not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 11, the Texas Association of Counties Health and Employees Benefit Pool 2020-2021 renewal 2020-2021 dental plan and 2020-2021 vision plan election. Brittany, I think, has advised us that our health insurance didn't go up at all, and we had a slight increase in the dental and vision. Yeah, 2%.
Vision, 2.3 increase.
In dental, okay. So I'd entertain a motion of approval.
so move.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 12, the Treasury's monthly report for April 2020. Entertain a motion of approval.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 13, a floodplain managed prevention ordinance. You have that in front of you. Richard Hill's here to answer questions. The court approved it in 2011, and there've been some new guidance from FEMA, and Texas Water Resources have reached out to Richard with some minor corrections, and that's what we're here to approve. It's some minor required language in our flood damage prevention ordinance. So Richard's here if you got any questions. If not, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
Make a motion to approve this.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 14, the appointment of Paul Voss to CIRMA Board of Directors for a term of 2 years. This position came open when Danny Duncan resigned, I think back in January of last year. Was it this year? In January of this year? Or December of last year? Okay. So it's been vacant for a little while. At one time, Dee and I had talked about it. Dee, I think, still serves on that board. This is a board that covers Lamar, Delta, Hopkins, Fannin, I believe. And it has to deal with the road transportation system and how they interact with all the counties. Most of our concentration was on 220 or 24 now. It's now 24, I guess, that goes all the way to Lamar County. Dee had asked Paul if he would be willing to serve, and he accepted. And Dee thinks he's already on our transportation board, so I think it's a good appointment. I'd move we appoint Paul Voss to the CIRMA board.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 15, the purchase and installation of new audiovisual system in the county court at law, number 1, courtroom, Avasant LLC, in the amount of $41,818.51, pricing per GSA Schedule 70, contract GS-35F-0125X, funding from COVID-19 expense fund. This and the next few items. When COVID hit and the court system, first of all, we had to ask the courts not to bring inmates to the jail, and the only way to accommodate that is through audiovisual. So we've already spent some money in with the district courts and county court at law with what they had, which is Zoom, and that's been working okay. But to continue to do it and to be able to have any other kind of, when we open the court up and have to have trials, then the prisoners and any other person that might be on the audio visual has to also be able to see what's going on in the courtroom. Right now, all they can see is the judge, and the judge is the only one talking to them. But eventually, an inmate or an attorney or any other defendant or plaintiff that's, whether it be in a divorce or whatever, they have to have the right to see what's going on in the court and hear what's going on. So we're having to redo all our audio visual in all the courts in the courthouse. And plus, we have to do a second room. We already have outfitted one room at the jail, but because of the demand and all the judges are using it, as it gets back into more norm, it's going to take 2 rooms to be able to handle it. So all these items are going to be related to getting us up to date and speed to be going forward. We can do everything audio visual for as long as we need to go. And matter of fact, the judges are liking it. And I honestly think it's going to help in a lot of other ways, but it is directly affected by COVID. We'd have never done this without COVID. We wouldn't have had to, but that's where we're at.
I believe Collin County did their first trial last week, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think so. They're not.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, it was, that's the only way that they could do that, because there's not supposed to be having jury trials.
How'd it go?
I didn't ever hear.
Yeah, they're prohibited from having trials until, I think they were notified maybe August 1st. I think now is the first jury trial they're saying is probably going to happen.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot of things going on between now and then. And
Well, what Philip's talking about was, this was a.
no, I know. I've read it. I forgot about it until you started talking about it, but I remember reading about it.
Yeah.
And then it was non-binding. They were kind of experimenting with it to see what
Kind
was
of
going to
weird,
happen.
isn't it?
It is weird.
I mean, really.
I've never heard anything like that.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
if we put this system in these courtrooms, let's say not too far down the line, we decide to move the court systems to another building, can you move this system with it?
It's electronics. I'm sure you could. I
So-
mean, there'd probably be some loss in it, but most of it'd be movable. I mean, it's computers, it's TV screens, it's microphones, it's cameras.
Okay.
So, I mean, I would think they'd be, I mean, yeah. Yeah.
Just curious.
You're the only one here who can turn a computer on. What are you talking about, an expert? Well, honestly, I've talked to some of the judges about it, and I think really it's gonna speed up some of the things at the courthouse and probably delay us from having to add any more courts or something for a while. It's one of those, something good comes out of something really bad. Well, this is probably something good, and we're not gonna be bringing prisoners back to the courthouse probably ever again, except for a jury trial with an inmate involved. But hopefully it's going to stop most, if not all, of the inmate transfers. So that's the background on that, and the other one's coming up. So if I entertain a motion for approval of action item 15.
So move.
Second.
Got a motion and second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 16, the purchase and installation of new audiovisual system in the county court at law. Number 2, courtroom, Avasant LLC, in the amount of $49,815.48, pricing per GSA Schedule 70, contract number GS-35F-0125X, funding from COVID-19 expense fund. Entertain a motion of approval.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 17, the purchase and installation of new audiovisual system in the 354th Court, Avasant LLC, in the amount of $38,728.37, pricing per GSA Schedule 70, contract number GS-35F-0125X, funding from COVID-19 expense fund. Entertain motion for approval.
So move.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 18, the purchase and installation of new Zoom add-on camera kit in the 196th District Courtroom, Avasant LLC, in the amount of $12,107.21, pricing per GSA Schedule 70, contract number GS-35F-0125X, funding from COVID-19 expense. We'd already redone the 196th court back a couple of months ago, and they didn't know at the time, didn't think about it at the time, that as it moved on and they got to using it, that they were going to have the cameras and microphones in the courtroom, so that anybody on the Zoom or whatever the platform is, they have to be able to see what's going on in the courtroom. So that's to bring the 350, is this 196 up to where it needs to be, but he's already got the other equipment. So that's why that one's less. Entertain a motion for approval.
May I ask you a question?
Sure.
on that? The one that was purchased, would that fit in the timeline of COVID also?
I don't remember, did it, Stacy? So that one we had to pay for, but his crashed, if you remember.
Oh, yeah.
His system had been out. They'd been using our
Portable system.
what?
Our portable system.
Yeah, our portable audio system for a microphone and all for a while, and then it crashed, didn't it? Or something else crashed. So he was without. So we'd already replaced it. We just didn't do everything that we needed to for COVID. So this will get it up to where it'll be COVID compliant, I guess. Entertain a motion for approval of action item number 18.
So move.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 19, the purchase and installation of new Zoom camera kit in Hunt County Sheriff's Office inmate Zoom room, Avasant LLC, in the amount of $7,795.91, pricing per GSA Schedule 70, contract number GS-35F-0125X, funding from COVID-19. I believe this is for the installation in another area of the jail. They're over there this afternoon, I understand, with Brandon and maintenance and the sheriff's department to try to figure out where they're going to put that other room. I entertain a motion for approval.
So moved.
Got a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Action item number 20, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities to cross County Road 2510 in Precinct 2.
Make a motion to approve the electrical power distribution under normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Request, action item 21, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities to cross County Road 2526 in Precinct 2.
Make a motion, we allow the electrical power distribution facility under normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 22, the request to construct electrical power distribution facilities to cross County Road 3120, Precinct 3.
Make a motion, we allow the construction with the normal stipulations.
Second.
Got a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Final plat of Childress Edition, Precinct 1.
Make a motion to approve this final plat.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Action item 24, the preliminary plat for Kingcraft Delia
Delia.
Estates, Precinct 3.
I make a motion that we accept the preliminary plat.
Second.
Got a motion second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Action item number 25, final plat of Irwin and Brittany Thrash Edition, Precinct 4. I'll make a motion we approve this plat. I reviewed it for Steve.
Second.
We've got a motion and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Approval of payroll and personnel. Got some names I can't pronounce today. Pablo Garcia, Hunt County Attorney, effective date 6/1/2020 is a new hire. Jose Hinoz. What she said? Eno Hose. Department Facilities, effective date 6/1/2020 is a new hire. Francisco Castro in the jail, effective date 5/30/20 is resigned. Sana Martin, JP 12, effective date 5/18/2020. Salary is being paid from Fund 10-621-0900-1121. Entertain a motion of payroll and personnel.
So make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Anybody else got any new business or anything to discuss? I want to bring something to the court's attention. I know we can't take action. I saw on the TV one day in the last couple of weeks where Dallas County or City of Dallas had ordered some equipment from Wello. It's a marketing wellness company. And what it is, it's a kiosk, and you walk up to it and it asks you the pertinent questions for the CDC guidelines. It has an infrared temperature scan on you. If you answer the questions right, it takes your body temperature, you set it to whatever temperature you want it. Then if you pass it all, it automatically prints out a sticker and you can put it on your shirt or coat or whatever. And then the people in the building will know that you've been checked for the day for coming in. Didn't have any idea what things going to cost. I asked purchasing to try to find it or like kind. Thinking about going forward when we open up the courthouse coming through security, if we have to stand there with thermometers and shoot everybody in the head and ask them the questions and all. You don't like that term, shoot them in the head. Wrong terminology. You use the infrared thermometers. It's going to take manpower and slow down the process. Also thinking about as we open up the courthouse, it's the new plan that Kelly's putting out for the court system. It says we have to test everybody coming in, employees included, and to not force everybody to come through security. If we had one of these at an employee entrance area, then we wouldn't have to put a person there, and it would be up that. And we're going to open up other buildings in the jail, and probably could use several of them. The unfortunate problem, the price we got was $10,500 for one of them. And I know we can't take action, but I just want to make you aware of it. And we'll probably bring something back and discuss it next time. But we got to figure this problem out. I don't know what the solution is. It's manpower, or we're going to have to find some other kind of device. I've asked them to keep looking. Hopefully they can find another method to do that is more automated than having people sit there. I mean, we do it at the hospital just a little bit ago, and they had 2 people sitting there asking you questions and taking your temperature and then logging you in with your information for tracing purposes. So it's kind of an involved process, and it's going to be expensive to do that also. So anyway, that's all I had. I just wanted to make you aware of that and tell you that we might be coming back with something to try to solve our problems. Anybody got anything else? Oh, we didn't do public. There are no public comments? Okay, thank you. Well, if not, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.